Today we are getting this field ready for cattle. This field has only been grazed once this year because of the bad summer that we had, and the only grazing we got out of it was a small grazing just to clean it off before we got it all leveled out, cleaned up and reseeded. But it's definitely time to get this grazed down. The ground underneath, it's fairly solid on the foot. Because the grass is well established now, it has formed a root, and the root itself helps to firm the ground up. Before that, when there was no grass here, you would not come in here. The pipe we put along the top here over that tree has been 100% successful so far, because this is dry and this was never dry. This was always a wet spot. So today is Wednesday, and the plan we have in place at the minute is for me to get in here and drive quite a few posts around in different places here, just to put up an electric fence, do it properly now when I'm at it. I don't really want to have to drive too much through this, but there are posts that need to be driven so we can get an electric fence up and make the thing secure. And then tonight, when the family's at home, we're going to put our young calves in, give them a worm and fluke dose, and then we're going to leave them back in the field that they're in for about 48 hours, and then hopefully we can let them in here either Friday night or Saturday morning. We let them in here and get them in grazed. So here on this bankment, I'm going to put a fence from there across to here, and I'm going to leave electric fence on that. The reason electric fence here and not barbed wire is that I want to be able to bring our mains electric around the cottage above up there and down to here when I'm connected up to here, and that will bring the power the whole way around the perimeter of this field. There's a hell of a good anchor there now, so that will really hold that wire the whole way around well. One thing about the post driver, that one, it's very hard at times to get a post to win straight. It always, at the end of its drive, and ends up wanting to go one way or the other way because it hits a stone or something like that, so it can be quite awkward at times to get a post to win straight. But you can be lucky, like that there, when the thing does go to plan. Now we're in an awkward spot here because I want to drive a post here. I don't want to come out here. I want to actually have it there, straight in front, because I want to actually take that corner out of it, that stone and all, just lift that corner out of it, because that just catches the tyre of the tractor, and that there would actually love to get the side of my wheel. The reason I'm not pulling the wire to this, I never like to do that. I never like to pull exactly to a latching post, just for fear it would ever move and then the gate's not going to latch properly. So I always put a post in beside it, pull to that, then I finish it with a bit of railing, just an ordinary bit of timber railing. And that way there's no pressure on the post whatsoever. I don't mind pulling to this one. It's a stronger post. It's not going to go anywhere, especially with electric wire or barbed wire. That post is going nowhere. But this lighter one here, we're going to just leave it as it is. Right, well, I've done the best I could. It's as good as I'm going to get without having to concrete the thing in. It hit a root, and as soon as it went in, and that pushed the post inward, which I wanted that post out. I started the hole about here, and I see where it went in, and there's only so much movement there is in the post driver to adjust for that, and that's just the way it is. I'm going to disconnect the barbed wire of this small post here and pull it to that. I like the fact that it is slightly leaning this way because the wire will be pulling it that way. I did that on purpose. We're just done milking, and it's, what time is it, girls? 6:30? About 6:30, 7:15. And the girls done a great job for me when I was milking, and that is to put the calves in the crush, so when I came over after milking, the calves is ready for me. We just want to give them a quick worm and fluke dose, that's all. That's all. What's that? That's all. We just want to give them a quick worm dose and fluke dose, and that's it. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, just lead them so that when they go back into the field that they just came out of, and then we leave them there for about 48 hours, maybe an extra wee bit along with it, and then we'll move them into the new field down below. That way they're not contaminating the new grass, and they get rid of anything that might be in their system. They're not coughing or anything, but it's just the time now to do them. We have that kind of rule of thumb of when we do them, and now is the time. Well, that's them all dosed. I think that is actually the quickest we've ever dosed calves. That probably took us about, what, 5 minutes? They were really quiet and obliging. They're not always like that, but they're just at the height now where I can reach across the bar and get at them. And they're big enough that they can't turn around in the crush. They've grew an awful lot. It's when you get them into the crush and then get a feel of their head and their backs, you realise how much they have grown. Sometimes in the field when you're used to looking at them, you don't just see it as much. Let them back now into the field. Today's Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday evening. So we're going to move these probably Saturday morning, Saturday evening. Right, so it's going to be a bit darker on the camera now because it's 7:30 and it gets dark fairly quick. In another half an hour, it's going to be practically dark. The evenings are well pulled in now. I've then posted, as you've seen here this morning, that's what I was at. I've also been away over the whole way around the entire field, and I've driven another 20 posts or more over there. I have a gate here that came off that area. It's a wrought iron gate, blacksmith gate. It's all done with rivets and stuff. It's not the most desirable of wrought iron gates, but it's a nice strong gate at the same time, and I'm sure I can fix it up. I have a place at home, they're going to rehang that. So anyway, I'm going to wire here. You can tell your mother I'll be home in about an hour's time. Yeah. Right, see you after. I'm not sure how the camera will show up now, but it is getting dark very fast now. But I have one bit of wire up there the whole way across. I've also fitted my electric across here to that post. I just have to hook it up to this wire, and I've also connected up my egg insulator over there and brought it around this post, and I've it wound down to there. So I'm hoping to get it finished tomorrow, get it all done, what I should do. But you just never know in farming what's going to come your way in the morning. So I'm going to get my tea, a shower, go to bed, get some rest, and start all again tomorrow. Now you might say cut them all to one size. I'm just checking the very bottom one here. Yeah, I have to make them ever so slightly longer as I go down because there is a wee bit of a tilt in on this post here. On purpose, of course. So I have to wear these oversized glasses. I'm trying to squeeze in, haven't worn them in years, because I can't find my safety glasses, and I have several pairs of them and they're all missing. So I'm pretty sure someone has lifted them, and they'll probably turn up when I'm not looking for them. So I have to wear these trendy little specs now. As long as the eyes is covered, it doesn't make any difference. The other thing I want to do in here is this area, because someone can walk in there and an animal can walk in there and actually get stuck. So I want to kick back a lot of that nettles that are there. I brought a post with me that I'm going to drive in there, if I can get it down, then just put timber rails over to it. Just the very same as what's here. That's that job done. I'm just looking around here to make sure I didn't leave any screws in the ground, because they would love the tractor wheel when I be going in and out. It's secure now. What I will do is I'll come over in a day or so and I'll put some stain on them, just kind of tone them down a bit. They will weather anyway, but it's secure now and no animal can get in or out there. The first bit you see in this video was filmed about 4 days ago, and my idea is, as I said to you, was that I might get calves in here after the amount of rain that we've had since we last spoke. Hence the reason I'm only finishing that job now. There's no way we'd put calves in here at the moment. We're going to just have to wait out and see what happens. Look at the layer of grasses on this. It'd be an absolute shame if we couldn't get it grazed. It's dry where I'm walking. Down there has been flooded for the past 2 days. The water has just subsided off it there now, because we've had what's that word? We've had a lot of rain, and that month's worth of rain we've had in the last couple of days has just completely saturated the whole place. We have our cows in at home now. I'm not sure which video you'll see first, this one or the one at home, but we have them in since the night before last. So yeah, I drive these posts the whole way across the bottom of this bankment. Remember, before this used to be way up almost to the top. You see where the bankment is there? Can you see the two different colours where the grass starts? That used to be the height of this field. So we run a drain along here. It's there along the bottom of that to catch any water coming down that bankment, and there's a pipe in there too running to the shuck. And I have to say, this area is lovely and dry. Well, wrong words. For the weather we've had, it's fairly dry. I have been able to go in here with the post driver and drive these posts without making any hand. And even down there, where it used to be soaking wet most of the time, we're actually able to drive down there now as well, which is powerful. But yeah, we just want to keep the cattle from pulling at the side of the bankment, because that's the first thing they do with their heads. They'd itch again that, and they'd never leave it alone. So just having a wire along here stops that from happening. We also had some branches on the ground here and there, because we've had a storm hit us as well in the middle of everything with high winds, and it brought down a couple of little trees here and there and a lot of branches on the roads and in the fields. Now I'm just heading to this wee corner here. This was always a wet spot, because this here, you can see it dripping, carries a lot of water that hill above. And that's the reason, hence, we didn't fill this. We left it open, and you can see the run of water that's in it already running out there, so that's not going down the field any longer. My intentions, if the weather had allowed us, was to actually put a larger pipe in there and fill it with stone to the top, or maybe just leave it open, which is probably what we will do. So I'm glad to have got done what it did get done, because you wouldn't go in now into the field. Our drinkers aren't connected yet, but the pipe is over at the drinker just beyond that gate. And when I connect it into that one, there already is a pipe run to this one. So I only have to connect the one drinker, and that'll be the both of them up and running again. So when I get the electric down, which isn't far away, and it won't take an awful long time to do, but when I do get it down beside the cottage, I'll go around the back of it, come down this side, come down this bankment, hook it into here, and that way this wire here will always be live, but this field won't be live unless this is hooked onto it. I'm just up here now at the shed, so we have our calves dosed. They've been in this field now for about 3 days after they've been dosed. It's time to move them. So we're not going to be fit, obviously, to move them down to where we thought we were at the beginning. So we have another lovely spot for them just beyond them trees. I'm here on my own, and I have to be careful because my invisible watch is telling me school run is only about 40 minutes away. So no time to waste. I'm going to stick the drone up. It always gives you a better idea of what I'm actually at, and let's get them moved. The autumn is starting to really take shape now, and I like autumn. I don't know about you, but I do like autumn. And when you look down at the lake of that there, the leaves starting to fall off the trees. And this, as I said before, is one of my favourite spots on the farm for this very reason, but it's a nice time of year. So just as we come over here then into our back field, which is one of our silage fields, you'll see the type of grass that's on it now. And it's this old stressed out seedy stuff that's coming through. Some nice lush grass is underneath, hoping that I can get cattle in here and get this grazed out. This would be by far the wettest field that we would have. We done a sighted drain across the top of it and running shores down through it. Tiles, drains, whatever you guys want to call them in different parts of the world, but we run a lot of them. And it made a serious job of this field, but it's always going to be on the wettish side. It's incredibly awkward field too, the shape of it. But this stuff here has come up through it quite a lot this year, and seen it in a lot of our silage fields, just down to the weather and grass being stressed out early on in the year when we had that dry spell, and it never fully recovered from that. So this will probably be the next field you'll see reseeded on our farm. Still do more drainage work on it as well. I'd like to actually pull a mow plough through it, because it's full of stone shores, big old stone shores. Seriously well drained when it was done that time, but with the big equipment and stuff, you get a lot of bile ups here and there. So I reckon if I could get in here with a mold drain or a mow plough, pull it behind it, or a bulldozer or a tractor, and let it deep down into them, you'll be fit to catch all the wet spots and let it into them again, get the whole thing rolling. So that's kind of what I had in my idea. So next year I might get a bulldozer in here with a mow plough and do a bit of a job on it. So anyway, I'm just showing you a few things that you don't get to see that often on the videos, just how fields are. And I'm going to show you one more thing before we end today's video. So this is just above that lower field, and we're in the backside, as we call, of our big hill. And this here was completely matted with Dawkins, dock weeds that is. And you can see how clean it looks now. It's just a difference in night and day. So that was all sprayed with 4Front back almost about 3 weeks ago now, and I got a great kill. Just left a lovely clean finish. You'd almost think it was reseeded. We won't get the low half done now with the heifers is because, well, it wouldn't matter if it was dry. It's just the leaf cover is gone. The Dawkins now are starting to wither away just with the colder and autumn weather, so you need a good leaf cover to get a good kill. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that. It would be interesting. We look at it again in the springtime. I cannot wait for springtime again. Hit winter. I can see one up there that I missed. Bugger. Thanks very much for watching, and let's go do something else.